Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I feel like this week is going very quickly. Um, we're almost done with our first full week of our mindful movement sessions with Sukoon. I hope you've been enjoying them so far. This week we have been focusing on elements of Salah. So we have standing, seated inversions. The past few days we've been doing them individually. Today we're going to be working on them all together. So I'm going to put them all into one flow that we can all do together. And inshallah, it will help strengthen your salah, strengthen your presence while you're in your salah. Um, and yeah, so the first few days we're focusing on the physical side of Salah. We'll be looking at obviously the postures. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a yin class, which is going to be focusing more on the internal elements of Salah, so the focus and the turning inwards, basically the attention towards Allah. So that's going to be our focus tomorrow after we've worked our bodies all week. We'll still be doing some movement, just more gentle. So today we're going to be getting started in a seated position on the mat. You can bring your feet together. The soles of your feet will come together. And you're just going to shuffle your hips forward, coming closer to your feet, as close as is comfortable. I'm just going to grab some blocks. Now, I know a lot of you might not have blocks at home, but if you have books or big cushions or anything like that, you can use them too. And what I'm going to do is just place them underneath my knees. So there's something to rest the weight on and it doesn't feel like they're hovering in space as much. So if you set yourself up with some kind of support underneath the knees, it's not essential, it just makes it a bit more of a relaxing position to hold. And we're just going to hold onto the feet, really lengthen through the spine, let the crown of your head come all the way up as if it's trying to touch the ceiling. And we're just going to close down the eyes. If closing your eyes feels uncomfortable or brings up any sort of emotions, you can just gaze down towards your nose. And we're just going to start with some breathing. Not trying to lengthen, not trying to slow it down, just noticing the breath. Notice where the breath goes as you inhale. Do you feel it go to your chest? Do you feel it go to your stomach? Does it go to a bit of both? And as you inhale, I want you to try and think about the different parts of your lungs. So we're not just breathing into the front of the chest, we're also expanding the sides of the chest and the back. So imagine you're sending that air into every available space of your lungs and just see where you can experience that expansion with each inhale. Good, and then just starting to lengthen those inhales, lengthen those exhales. Maybe trying to make your exhales double the length of your inhales. So if you're inhaling for 2 seconds, you exhale for 4. If you're inhaling for 3 seconds, you exhale for 6. So just see where your breath is at this morning. See how long your inhale is. And then double that as you breathe out. This is a really good way of calming down the nervous system, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and showing your body that you are safe. You are in a comfortable position and you're free to relax. So on your next inhale, taking the biggest breath you can possibly take. Expanding the stomach, expanding the sides. And then sighing it out with a big, deep exhale through the mouth. So you're inhaling. Inhale. Sigh it out. One more big inhale. Sigh it out. Very nice. Okay, keeping your feet where they are in this open hipped position, place your left hand down next to you and reach your right arm up overhead. If your right sit bone also comes up off the mat, I want you to really push that back down and make sure the movement is coming from this part of your body and not because your hips are raising up to the sky. Really trying to breathe into this side body, the way I was explaining the breath coming into the front, the sides, and the back. Try and expand this side of your ribs as you breathe. Inhale back up to seated, bring both hands down to your side, and then exhale to bend over to the right, lengthening through the left side body this time. Inhale back up to seated, and then remove, if you have a block, cushion, book, anything under your knees, just remove them. Flap the knees up nicely, warm up the muscles, and then we're going to come into our child's pose. So depending on what you find more comfortable, you can bring your knees together or your knees quite far apart, and then walk the hands down, sinking the chest. You can bring the forehead to the mat if that's comfortable. You can let it hover slightly if you don't have that space yet, but really lengthening through the spine, making your spine as long as it can go. And as you're sat in your child's pose, I want you to think about breathing into the back of your body, so expanding the back of the ribs. You're not just breathing into the front of the chest. Okay. And then in your child's pose, taking your hands and walking them over to the right hand side. So placing the right hand down, you can bring the left hand and put it on top of the right, and then sink your torso down, sink your forehead down. Inhale back up, walk the hands back to the middle, and then all the way over to the left. This time the right hand will be placed on top of your left hand, and then sink the head down. And then walking the hands back. If your knees are further apart, bring them together. So your knees are going to come together. And then bring your forehead down to the mat. And kind of like in sujood where we come up on our hips, I want you to come up onto the top of your head. So we're kind of on our knees, but we're also on the top of our head. Then bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and push your hands away from you as you come up onto the top of your head. This is a very nice stretch along the back of the neck. You can tuck the toes for a little bit more support, or you can keep them flat against the mat. But we're really pushing our hands away from our body. And then inhaling to bring the chest back up. Keep the hands where they are. Pull the hands down the back of the body. Tip the chin up to the sky. Big deep exhale here. And then releasing the hands, we're going to come into some of our foot stretches here. So pulling up that right knee, really stretching across the front of the right foot. Putting all of your weight into that left leg. And exhale to drop that right leg. Inhale to lift the left leg. So we're stretching into the left foot this time. And then dropping that knee, sending the weight forward, tucking those back toes, and then sending our weight onto the heels. So we're stretching the backs of the toes now. The further you push your weight back, the more intense this is going to be. So you can stay a little bit more forward. You can take a break, untuck the toes, come back down if you need to. Just hold this for as long as you physically can. Really feeling a nice stretch along the backs of the feet. Good. And then we're going to come to either child's pose or down dog here. So if down dog is still a little bit too difficult for you, you can just come back into our child's pose. If you would like a different variation, you can bring your weight forward, tuck the toes, and then exhale to send the hips up to the sky, coming into our down dog. You can keep a deep bend in the knees. You can let your heels come up off the mat. Whatever you need to do to find more comfort in this pose. Just holding this here for a few breaths. Good. And then on your next exhale, just walking the hands back to meet the feet. So we're folded over our legs here. We're going to take the same movement that I showed you yesterday or the day before, where we go between our forward fold, where our upper body is heavy, and our half lift, where everything is straight and engaged. So as you exhale, bend the knees, drop the torso. Inhale to straighten the legs, straighten the back, hands come to the shins. So just move between these two poses in your own breath. So inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. Good. And we're gonna do a couple of standing postures now. So if I turn this up a little bit for you. Coming wherever, you can either come to the top of the mat or your middle of your mat. Lifting the right leg up. Oh, my balance is a bit off today apparently. Lifting the right leg up, just hug that knee into your chest. And then from here, you can see this foot, you can flex the foot, point the toes, do some circles with your ankles, just strengthening that standing leg. And then coming into our tree pose. So from here, you can place the foot wherever is most comfortable for you. You can place it on your knee, on your shin, on your ankle, just with your toes hovering if you're really struggling with the balance. Or you can do it against a wall, just holding the wall to help you with your balance. If you have your tree pose, you can bring your hands to heart, or you can bring them up overhead. This is the hardest for your balance, to have the arms up overhead, so just play about with what works for you today. Coming back to your breath, fixing your gaze on a single point. And then inhaling to bring that knee back in, we're going to take a hold of the outer edge of the right foot and place it on our left thigh, so it's balancing there. This might be enough for you. You might be struggling with the balance. You can work on holding this. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can start to sink the hips down and bring the hands in front of you. So you're kind of, I'll show you from the side, you're kind of in this half squat position. You can come down as far as you like, but really play about with opening up the side of the glute muscle here by squatting down a bit lower. And then, whoop, my balance is off. You can just find a spot in front of you, pick that spot to focus on, come back to your breath. And then inhale to come up, drop that foot, just shake the legs out a little bit there. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So lifting up the left knee. Making sure to ground down through all four corners of your foot. So if you're getting a bit wobbly like this, really think about the big toe of your standing foot. Think about making a line from that toe all the way down to your heel and pushing down through that line. Whoop! See, everyone wobbles, is absolutely fine. And then taking that knee, placing the foot on the inside of the leg, again, wherever is easiest for you. So it can be lower down, it can be on the floor, you can be holding the wall. We're holding our tree pose here. Some nice stability in the legs. And then inhaling to bring that knee back, placing the outer edge of the foot onto the thigh. So this might be enough. This is quite intense on the hips as it is, or you can sink the hips down, really engaging the standing leg and feeling a nice stretch along the side of the glutes. Then inhaling back up to standing. Just coming back to our breath now. And we're going to do a few more standing poses. So from your tree, come to the top of the mat, and we're going to step the right foot all the way back. Turn those toes so they're facing the long edge of the mat, and then your front foot is facing the short edge of the mat. Bend into that front knee, and then really push into the outer edge of that back foot there as well. So your legs are nice and strong. Keep your shoulders over your hips so everything's nice and aligned, and then extend your arms and gaze over that middle finger. On your next exhale, drop your left elbow, to your left knee. Extend the right arm up. So you're creating a nice straight line from your fingers all the way down to those toes back there. And then bringing the hands down to the floor, we're going to sink into this hip. So this is quite intense. If you're all the way up on your tiptoes and you're kind of balancing like this, that's absolutely fine. If you can sink a little bit lower and just get more into this thigh, absolutely fine. Wherever we are, we're coming into our side lunge. And then this is a bit of a tricky transition. It requires some strength and flexibility. So what we're going to do is put our weight into this long extended foot. So pushing to the side, walking the hands across and sinking the other way. So this is very good for our hip mobility. And then we're going to inhale to come all the way back up to our extended side angle on the other side. So we're lifting the hips, bending into that right knee. The right elbow comes onto the right knee and the left arm extends up overhead. Then exhale, straighten the arms, coming into our warrior two. Straighten that right leg. We're going to turn both feet. So both feet are facing in slightly, and we're going to come into a wide-legged fold here. So hinging at the hips, both hands will come down to the mat if they can. If not, you're just going to be hovering here, that's fine. You could also maybe come down to a block if you have something that you can rest on. Sorry, let me just bring this camera down a bit. There we go. If you have something that you can rest on, that's absolutely fine. But from here, straightening through the legs, folding at the hips, and letting the upper body come over the legs. And then bringing that hand, the left hand is going to come down onto the floor. The right hand is going to come up overhead. So we're twisting in this wide-legged fold. Exhale to bring the right hand down. Inhale to lift up the left arm. Exhale to bring both hands back down. And we're going to shuffle the feet in slightly and then drop our hips into our malasana or yogi squat. This is also called garland pose. So if you have less flexibility, your feet might need to be a little bit wider apart, away from each other. You also can come up onto your tiptoes if you don't have as much space to bring the feet all the way down. You can have the hands on the mat, or you can bring them up in front of your chest and use the elbows to push your knees further away from you. But you can also equally just have the hands helping you balance on the floor. Really lengthening through the spine here, pushing the chest up, puffing the chest out. And then planting the right hand in front of the right foot. So your arm is extended in front of the leg, and then lengthen up to the sky. So extend the right arm, the left arm, sorry, extend the left arm up. And then drop the left hand in front of the left foot this time. Extend the right arm up to the sky. Really using that hand down here to push the knee away, push the chest open. Good, and then coming back to our squat. From here, we're going to slowly lower until we reach the floor. And then we're going to bring our legs through. So now your shins are parallel to the mat. Pull the torso forward, straighten the back, and then bring the arms next to the legs, palms facing up. Engage your arms, engage your legs. This is called boat pose. This is very good for core strength. If you want more of a challenge from here, you can play about with extending the legs and get that shake on, or you could just keep them by your body. Exhale to lower the legs, lower the arms. Inhale to come back up. Exhale down. Inhale up. One more. Exhale down. Inhale up. Good. Dropping the legs, pointing the toes up to the sky, and then just letting the upper body come over the legs. Hands can come wherever, next to the legs, on the knees, on the shins. But try and send your hips forward, your stomach forward, and then your chest. This is a nice stretch on the lower back here. So dropping the head, slowing down the breath. Okay, good. And then bringing your torso up slowly, walking the hands back up to meet the chest. Bring a bend into your right knee. And we're going to twist. Before we twist open to the right, you can bring the foot over the left thigh. So we're creating even more of a twist. You can maybe get the elbow around the knee and pull your chest over. Gaze over the right shoulder. And then turning yourself to face the front. Bring a bend into your left leg. Bring both feet towards you, holding on to your right and your left foot. So your knees are stacked over each other. And then long spine here. And then exhale. Maybe you can bring your torso down onto the thigh. Then inhale to come up and extend both of your legs. This time bringing up the left leg, planting the left foot, and then bringing the left foot onto the other side of the right leg. So this time your right arm is coming around the left thigh, and we're twisting to the left. Inhale to come back to center, facing the front, bending the right knee and bringing both feet in towards the body. Both knees are stacked. Both sit bones are glued to the floor. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And then exhale to fold down if you can. Inhaling back up, extending both legs in front of you. Just shake them out nicely. Then coming all the way down onto the back, bringing both knees in towards the chest. We'll just start to bring the class down, start to slow down our heart rate, slow down our nervous system. So really slowing down the breath here, slowing down the heart rate. Just thinking about how our body feels now compared to the start of the class. And now we're just going to do a few gentle stretches of the legs just to end. And then hopefully your legs and your spine will be nice and stable and strong when we go to do the rest of our Salah today. So pulling the right leg in towards the body, the hands come behind the knee, and we're going to extend the leg up to the sky. So pushing the heel up towards the ceiling. Wherever the leg comes, if it's a little bit lower down, that's absolutely fine, but we're just meeting ourselves where we are today. If you have the ability to grab for this foot with your arm, then you can do that as well. If not, just stay with your hands behind the leg. It's doing the exact same thing. It's absolutely fine. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to drop that leg out to the side. So you can keep your hand either underneath or on top, gripping it, just for more stability. But I want your left hand to be on your left hip so that that stays on the mat too. And just see how far you can get that foot out to the side. You might be able to rest it on something. And then inhale to come all the way back up to center. Bend your left leg, plant the left foot on the mat, and then we're gonna, the same thing we did in standing with the figure four, we're gonna do from a reclined position. So the outside of the right foot is on the left thigh, and then pull the left knee into the body, and you can feel a nice stretch along the side of the thigh there. And then exhale to drop both feet back down to the mat. Extend the right leg. Just notice how this leg feels slightly different to the left now that you've stretched it out. And then bring your hands behind the knee of your left leg and extend that leg up to the sky. And then on your next exhale, we're going to push that leg out to the side. Make some space. Keeping your right thigh, your right hip glued to the mat. Just opening up the leg as much as is possible. And inhale that leg back up to center. Bend your right knee, plant the right foot, and the outer edge of the left foot is now on your right thigh. We're going to pull that right knee into the body. Recline back on the floor. You can push the knee away from you for a little bit more of a challenge. And then dropping both feet down to the floor. We're going to start to come to the end of our practice. I'm sorry if there's some construction noise going on. My neighbors are having an extension built, but what we're going to do is just do our meditation anyway. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys, because yoga is all about ignoring your distractions, ignoring what's actually happening around you to focus on what's important. So let's try that today. We are going to end the class with some gentle breath work, and just some body scan meditation just to take you through the rest of your day. So you're either on your back or you can come back up to a seated position. And we're just going to close down the eyes. The hands can be on the knees, they can be in the lap. And we're just going to start to slow down our breathing. So just bringing our attention to what's happening around us. So to start by just noticing any noises we hear in the room, or the temperature, if we feel cold, if we feel hot, if there's a breeze. If you can hear, like me, if you've got neighbors doing construction or you can hear cars outside. Just noticing what your body is picking up in this moment. And then turning that attention, turning that awareness to the body now. Thinking about how the body feels. If we feel calm, if there's stuck energy anywhere still, if there's any parts that feel tight or sore, or the opposite, there's parts that feel really open now, that feel really relaxed, that feel heavy. And then turning that attention finally to the breath. And just focusing solely on the breath. When thoughts come into the head, we watch them pass as if it was a cloud in the sky. There's no judgment on the thoughts as they come up. We just notice and watch them pass. And this is very good training for Salah. It's good practice for when we make our du'as, when we stand in front of Allah, because we have to turn our focus from the outside world. Things can be happening around us, but we need the ability to turn inwards, to turn our attention to one thing, Allah. So maybe now, turn your attention to Allah. You can maybe start to recite some dhikr words as you inhale, as you exhale. And just connecting with the energy of creation. And then just taking some last few deep breaths here. So inhaling, filling up your whole chest, your whole stomach. Exhaling through the nose very slowly. Then inhaling slowly through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. One more big, deep cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. You can shake out the arms, shake out the legs. And then, as always, we are going to end the live class with a verse from the Quran. Some of you in the comments need this. So let's see what it says today. We had that one the other day. Be and it is. So our verse for today is, his command is only when he intends a thing that he says to it, be, and it is. Reflect on the sheer power encapsulated in this verse. Consider the simplicity yet immense potency contained within his command, be. How can this verse inspire patience, reliance, and submission to Allah's will, knowing that his decree comes to fruition with absolute certainty? So I'll leave you guys with that piece of reflection for the rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed today's class. It was live, but we did have a live class today. It wasn't pre-recorded. And I will be back again tomorrow at the same time to do another mindful movement session. Tomorrow we will be doing a yin focus class, as I explained at the start. So it's going to be slower movements. We hold them for 1 minute to 2 minutes per pose. So slower tomorrow, more focus on breath work as we lead into our Friday, into our Jummah, and then the weekend. So thank you so much for being with me here today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I will see you tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you.